Hey, this is Ron Doyle again, welcoming you into day 3, or class 3, or session 3. We'll have to come up with a good word for that. Thanks for coming back. I've gotten messages and questions and communications from you. That is fantastic. Make sure you send me more. I love getting your questions, just like I do on the newspaper articles. When I hear from a reader or a listener now, since I'm doing video, it's not that big a deal, but thanks. And send them out anytime you have questions, comments, corrections, whatever you want. Even bad news from you guys on me is good news because I can only improve. So thanks. Hey, today we're going to look at a couple of questions or a question or so that was sent in and some new things that I mentioned last time. I have no apologies today either. It's all good. So I'm back here in Google, as you can plainly see on the screen. I'm in my search engine here in Google. I just started up at google.com. I could have started in my email over here with Gmail. I notice my picture is there, la-di-da, everything's cool. So that's kind of neat. I'm going to show you an email that I got right away. Here is the Gmail that I got from myself that I sent on the second lesson we had, just to show you what it looks like with the picture of my avatar in here. Good looking, huh? Looks just like me when I had red hair. I've never had red hair. So let's move on a little bit. And now I'm just going to go here into Gmail. We'll click it. Takes you right to it. Remember your application window here, all your Google apps, you can click there to get to any of them. Somebody asked me, can I get the ones here below and drag them up top if I want to? Absolutely. If I want to take, well, let's just say Google Docs and put it up here in the top portion, I can. They do have limits. I think when you put another one here, they'll start going other places. But yes, you can move those up. And let's say there's something you don't like. I have never, unless playing, used Google Translate. So I'll pull it to the bottom. I've also never used Google Shopping. I hate to say it, I'm an Amazon guy, so I'm going to move that one down too. Also, I've received several emails from you, and this is going out to about 70 people right now. Tell your friends, let them come in and get caught up. You can shoot your friends the link that you can get to. And I'm thinking of different ways of distributing this, so we'll find out as I go along. I'm always going to be changing because I'm learning as I go. It's kind of all new for me, so we'll figure it out together. Please send your suggestions. I said that earlier. Send them. I like to get them. Let's see, what else was I going to say there? When you're in your account like this, you can use any of them you want to. You've got YouTube. We're going to look at some things you can do in YouTube as we go along, maps. We got all kinds of tricks and things for you. So I'm going to move my calendar up because I like to use my calendar a lot. So anyway, that's what you can do. So a couple of things that are real simple. We're going to look at one question you had. If I had a message in the trash, which I don't. Oh, I've got this one from Andy that I put in a week or so ago. What I told you how you could delete it by clicking on empty trash now, but I also want to show you, some people ask me, can you move this back to the inbox if I accidentally deleted it? Yes, you can. You could click it and drag it back in just like that. So here's Andy again. I'm going to delete him though and show you some other ways you can do that. And we're going to look at folders today a lot too. But anyway, here's the same one. I can click it and look at it. Oh, that's my inbox. Ron just made another mistake. I usually post my mistakes. Sometimes I don't. But I'm going to go back down here into trash. And here's mine from Andy. And instead of deleting it, I can click it. And there's some options up here. We talked about some of them. We didn't talk about report spam. I have never found this to be extremely effective with Gmail. They do a good job all on their own, so whatever, you can try to report spam. We talked about this one. We've talked about the snooze button, the move to. I'm going to move this one to the inbox. Now if I go to look in the inbox, there it is. There's Andy's email. So we got that. I can delete it again if I want to. Just as simple as that. I can go back into trash. I can totally wipe it out. I can click it again if I want. And I can also label it, which gives it a label of one of these others. We'll take a look at labels in just a minute. But so there you go. And this is not really an update. I'm just going to clear that. An update is one of those social things I told you about earlier that I don't use, so I don't really care about that label. There's also some buttons here to the end that you can click on and see. Mark it as unread, mark it as important, add to tasks, we'll talk about that, add a star, filter messages, great feature, and mute. I've never used it, so I'm going to have to find out what that is, or either just skip it and not tell you about it. I'll let you find it out. So there you go. So next thing is up, just a simple, how do I send emails just real quickly? I'm going to hit compose. It pops up this message down here. It's reminding me I can schedule when to send it. We looked at that before, or we did not look at that before, but we will today. So if I type a message to someone, and I'm going to type it into Ron Doyle again, I've sent him one message, so it recorded it. By the way, next week we're going to look at contacts. Very important for you. So, subject, this is a test message. You know what? Every time I talk to you guys, all I can think of is how noisy that keyboard is. Again, I apologize, and that's the last time. It's over. If I can quit thinking about it. I sometimes tell people I've got OCD, but I really don't. I've got CDO. It has to be in alphabetical order. That's just what I'm saying. Okay, so here is a message. Also, Google has a neat little feature for spell checking. You can right-click it here and just say, here is the message. And I can send the message. Now, that will just send it right away to this person. But I have another neat feature. It's kind of like the snooze feature when it pops up and reminds you later. But this is different. It sends it for you automatically. Watch. You click on the little arrow and you say, schedule send. And I click it. It pops this up. It says, okay, we'll send it for you tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock, Monday morning at 8. I wish I could figure out how to change these times because I'd want them to pop up and maybe say noon instead of 1 o'clock every time. But you can also pick a date and time. Go in here, click it, send it, do whatever you want to do. I'm going to send it, and you notice there's been a gap since I recorded last time. Last time I recorded, I think, was like the 29th, and today it's 14th, 2 weeks later. I'm wearing a different shirt. So anyway, you can get in here and choose a date you want it to send, and I can say send it on the 30th at 10:06 p.m. You know what time it is now because it puts it in there. But let's say I want 12 noon. I could just pipe 1200 in there and do it. And schedule send. It'll automatically go out on time when it's supposed to, whether Google is open or closed. You can log out, log off, it'll still go out on time. And notice too, it's in a new folder over here called Scheduled. This will have all of your scheduled emails that are ready to go out. And if you want to stop it, you can click it and you can say cancel the send. And it'll do that, but it won't cancel the email. The email just pops back up and says, okay, what do you want to do with it now? So I could send it, which is what I'll do, or nah, I'll send it later. Schedule send. Tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. I'll send that puppy out, so it'll be gone. So there you go. That's how you can do that. Simple other things. When you get an email in, you've got some buttons over here you can look at, which are pretty good. One is this not starred now, but I could star it. We were saying, what does starring it do? Ooh, that's exciting. It puts a little star in here next to it, so you can come back and observe it later. It automatically routes some as important, which is this little button right here. You can click that. Let's see what it says when I hover it. Click to teach Gmail this conversation is important. So anytime something comes in from Ron Doyle, it'll know this is important, and it'll put that little marker next to it. It will not star it automatically. So that's what starring does, and you can do it from here too. So back in here, once I open up the email by clicking it, notice it's in the inbox, and it shows you here who it's coming from, and here who it came to. So if you click on that little arrow, it'll show you a couple things. Here's who it came to, which is me. It gives you the subject, who did the emailing, was there any encryption, we don't need to worry about that, and this is important because I marked it as important. Okay, simple as that. So it gives you a little bit more information from here. So back over to this side. Here's a button that just says reply. If this was sent to you from a person, you hit reply, it will go back to them. If it was sent by multiple people, you will have a reply all button under these little 3 dots. That will reply to everyone that this message was sent to in the CC area. If it was in, and you'll have to go back and look at the previous videos on this, but if it was sent to a BCC, which, what does that CC stand for? Correct, you listened, courtesy copy. So the BCC, blind courtesy copy, that will not send it to everybody that received it, only to the person that sent it, because those BCCs never show up again. They're blinded, you can't see them. So they don't know they're there. They're not there, really. So that's what you can do there. Another thing is forward. Now there's a big difference between reply and forward. Let's say I wanted to forward this to somebody else and also wanted to send Ron Doyle a copy. That's cool. But when you do forward, if there are any attachments, the forward will automatically forward that attachment. If you just reply, you're replying to somebody that already has that message, so it's not going to put it in the email. There's a difference. So if it's reply, it just sends a text back in your new message. If it's forward, it'll send the attached file in it, or picture, or whatever it may be, to the people that you send it to, and you'll have to fill in that original person. So just keep that in mind. That's the same on all emails. Reply to all works the same way. If you reply to all, it will not send the attachment. It'll only send the text of the messages. Make sense? You probably already knew that though, didn't you? The other things in here, we're not going to look at all of them tonight, but we can filter, print, delete, block people, report spam, phishing, very similar but different, and we'll talk about some of these as we go on, but you can look these up online and figure them all out. Basically filtering, we'll come back to in a couple of weeks probably on how to filter messages and what that does. So if we send it to a person, it shows you when you're replying or when you're forwarding where it originally came from. You can delete that if you don't want to send it, and then just send it to the person. Now I'm just going to go over here. If I click here and let's say, oh, you know what, I don't want to send this message. I'm just going to go back to my inbox, compose a new message, blah, blah, blah. Notice you've got a draft here on this email. That means that it's in the draft folder and you've got a message that you've never sent yet, but you started writing. We'll say, yeah, I know what it is. I don't want to mess with it. I don't want to get rid of it. You can open it here and click this little trash can, or you can open it from within the drafts and click it. Same thing, and hit that little trash can. That will delete it from your draft items. So if you've got a bunch of drafts in there, you're like, how do I get rid of these things? Unfortunately, you're going to have to go through and delete each one, so now that you know how to use it. And there's also more options down here. You can play with that if you want, spell check it, whatever. I'm just going to delete it, and if you notice, it's now pulled out of my draft. But I've still got the schedule ready to go. Okay? You can also look back on your sent messages for things that you've sent in the past. We talked about that before, I believe. Snooze we talked about, and here's your starred messages if you've got any. And again, down here, there are more items that you can look at. And you're looking at this one. I'll just cover this one really quickly. All mail. I didn't intend to go here, but all mail is all mail. If I click it, it shows me things that are in different areas. Look at these 3 here. Here's one. Here's a test message. Here's a message. So it's there. Okay, it is a message. I can cancel the future send. That's what it is. I can go back here to the all mail. This one is in the inbox, and this one is about the new double clicks that I've already sent before. So this just shows you all mail wherever it may be, not including, excuse me, the trash can. So this is just all your mail that's still outstanding. It's somewhere, it's handled somewhere else. It's put somewhere, so you can just click all mail to see it. There'll be a lot of stuff in there over time. Mine doesn't have much now. Matter of fact, I could go through and just delete stuff, but I want to leave something in here just for us to look at if we need it. Okay, so what I wanted to talk to you about today is how can you save emails? What can I do? Well, you can create labels, is what they call it here in Google, and you can, in other apps, they call them labels. So that's what we're going to take a look at, is Google Labels now. Google Labels. Let's say we've got one that we want to relate to Ron Doyle. We can go ahead in here and we can say Manage Labels right down here. You might have to click it to get to it. Remember, we've got all the items here. We can slide this around. We can show more or less, but I'm going to go to Manage Labels and click right here. It loads all my labels and I can choose to show or hide them. The ones at the top are all the standard labels you have. I would leave those alone, but you can hide them if you want to. In other words, if you don't want the important ones showing up, you can hide them or show them. This is not showing right now, it is hidden. So I'm going to hide those and leave them like that. Chats, we'll talk about some of this stuff later. And here are the others, but I can create my own. So I'm going to create one here that says, I want to do a new label name called Ron's Emails. If I want to keep his. I don't really, because I know what he's saying all the time. Well, most of the time. But you can also nest it under something. Just to see here, we don't have anything to nest it under, but I'll show you that in a minute. So here's Ron's emails. We're going to hit create. And here's a label called folder everywhere else in the world that you can send an email from Ron to. So there's many ways to do it. Again, I could just click it and drag it into Ron's emails. And there it is. I'm going to send it back to the inbox. Okay, so it's here. It's not in Ron's, it's still in Ron's emails because it's got a label on it. Okay, I labeled it. I can open it and it shows you all the labels that is on it. So I'm going to click here and it's not in Ron's emails anymore, but it's still in the mailbox. I can also put other labels in here under Ron, make it a sub-label. So these are emails from Ron, all right? So I'm going to say Manage Labels, and this is what I'm going to show you before how to create a sub-label. And I'm going to say Create New Label. I'm going to call it From Double Clicks Live. And I'm going to nest it under Ron's emails. So now I can hit this. What does it do? Well, it creates me another label under Ron's email. So I can put some messages here and some messages here. Look, when you go to your inbox, if you open an email, you can go up to this one and move it to another area. This one will just label it. So you saw before how I had one said inbox and the other said Ron Doyle, or what did I put? Ron's email. So I could show both of those. That would be labeling it, but I want to move this one out of the inbox into Ron's double clicks emails. So all I've got to do is click this Move To button right there and then go to the label I want to put it in, or folder. Okay, so I'm going to put it into DCL, Double Clicks Live. It's gone out of inbox, but if you notice, it's not in Ron's emails, it's in Double Clicks Live folder that I created. You can create as many as you want in there. I've probably got 30 or 40 in my work account. You can put as many as you want. Just remember, after a while, your email kind of overflows and gets kind of cramped. So make sure that every now and then, and now we've talked before, but in trash, your trash emails are deleted every 30 days. So you don't have to worry about those. But I even empty them out from here sometimes. I just click delete it now and get rid of it. It says, are you sure you want to get rid of this stuff in the trash? You want to continue? Yes. Be careful. I've accidentally deleted important messages before. Bad thing. Can't get them back now. So next week, here's my plan. We're going to take a look at how to do a few more email things, set up a filter. Sounds tricky. It's not too bad. Make a few adjustments in the settings area that can help you out. And that'll probably cover it. By the way, as you've noticed, I went over 10 minutes because you guys wrote in and say, go on for half an hour if you want to. I'm not going to go that long. So now my new goal, I was saying for the first 2 shows, let's keep it at 10 minutes. Now I'm saying, let's keep it between 15 and 20, maybe 20. So we'll change as we go along. Like I told you, I'm learning through you guys helping me. So shoot me information, whatever you've got for me. And also, you like my new office? We'll talk about that next week too. Take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.